All right, you can find some very cool custom-made saddles at a shop in Yuba City.
Our cowboy Cody took the Caravan there, and he's meeting the man who makes these saddles. Hi, Code.
Good morning to you guys. Yeah, we're coming up to a shop right up here. Now, here's the thing. You might notice that I haven't shaved in a while.
I
did
like
that
it.
on purpose.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to meet Daryl, and I wanted to look cowboyed up for you, man. I wanted to see if I could fit in a little bit. Daryl, I'm going to talk about you like you're not here. This might be one of the most fascinating human beings I've ever met. Okay, anyway, Daryl, nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us out.
You bet.
Okay, so you were an archaeologist with the state for how long?
27 years.
27 years, but also you did a lot of cowboying on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then you retired, and now you're kind of dabbling with saddles.
Yes. Actually learned about 25 years ago from a man I was working for in the cattle business. And he taught me what he knew, kicked me out of his shop, and I started cutting leather on a ping pong table.
Did you really?
Yeah, about 3 miles from here in a different place. And then moved here 15 years ago. And I wasn't wild about moving until I saw this shop I could have up here. And so, yeah, we moved here 15 years ago.
So we should probably tell people the backstory. Let's go back here real quick. But your wife hadn't been up there ever, and she kind of set this up. And then she walked up here and says, "Daryl, you got to clean this place up." And so you cleaned it up for us. I felt a little guilty, but
you should, because I worked like a beaver getting this place ready.
I wanted to come back here before we get started, really proper, because it's all about the tools. You got to have the proper tools to do this stuff.
That's correct. And so when I started, I bought tools that I could and started looking. And actually, many of those stamps there on the table I found in a pawn shop. And then I started looking more in secondhand places and establishments that would have a variety of stuff. And I still look when I'm in an antique store or a secondhand store. I'm looking for stuff I can use. This paper cutter I found. I'm always looking for ice picks and stuff that I can use.
Who doesn't always look for ice picks?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You never know.
So anyway, but I'm pretty you never can have enough knives in this business. So if I'm anywhere in this shop, I like to be able to reach out and grab a knife. And
that's kind of the way my photog Sean lives his life, too. He always wants a knife nearby. You never know. We're going to talk about the saddle making process and get to know Daryl. I'm telling you, I've been here, an hour? We're having a great time talking to you. Great time talking to you. We're going to talk about cowboying. We're going to talk about making saddles. We're going to talk about his life as an archaeologist for the state. I'm telling you, this man is fascinating and my favorite person. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
Cody, the scruffy beard was looking great. I was really buying into it, but then when I see it next to his mustache, it's hard to measure up. It's hard to measure up.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Thank you, Code.
Cody, you are enough.
Yeah, you are.
Creating beautiful custom Western saddles, the creator has quite the story to tell as well.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to check back in with Cody Stark, who is giving us a little bit of a sewing lesson. Well, he's getting one, and we're peeking in on the sewing lesson this morning.
Yeah. I've learned a lot. Now, I just said to Daryl, I said, well, I don't want to get you inundated with people at home calling you because, you're retired and you're just kind of doing this. Every once in a while, somebody will call you that knows you. And you said you're good at saying no.
Yes, I don't know that I'm good at it, but I can say it.
Okay, so don't inundate him. But this man is a master at what he's doing. What is this? You built this. What's this for?
This is called my drawdown. And when we start a saddle, we start with the tree. And here's a tree. And so this drawdown is built to mimic a horse's back. So this part, the front of the horse where the neck meets the body, is the withers, and this part of the saddle, or the part of the horse's back, moves in an upward and an outward. And then when you put the tree on there, it's mimicked the horse's back so you can square up your work. So this is what we start with. These are typically made out of wood. Preferred wood, I understand, is an alder, a yellow alder. I'm told alders are good because they have no grain and no knots.
Oh.
And so when you set screws and nails in them, they don't back out.
Oh, I see.
Theoretically.
Theoretically? So what goes next?
Next, it's covered with rawhide, wet rawhide. And this is all done at the tree maker. I don't do any part. I order the tree to my, I guess you would call them specs, my specifications, my measurements, and they use those to build the tree. And then they put this rawhide over, stitch it on. It's stitched around these are the bars of the saddle right down here. This is the seat. This is the cantle. This is the swell. This is the horn. And then as that rawhide dries, it sucks up all the moisture leaves and it sucks up tight on this. And in recent past, people have tried to make a new type of tree with different synthetic materials. I think most saddle makers would agree you can't beat a wood tree covered with rawhide because of the actual has a built-in flexibility to it. The synthetics can't mimic. And so I'm a traditional guy, and I stick with traditional methods and materials. So
Now, just looking at you, you can tell you're a traditional man. You're a traditional guy.
that's very true.
Okay, we're going to continue learning how he builds a saddle under.
Oh,
Yeah, we got stuff. We got apparently they got news and stuff to
Do
do.
your thing.
Yeah. But when you come back, we'll learn the next part of the process and hang out some more and tell some stories. Back to you guys in the studio. I'm telling you, this man is fascinating. I could stay here for a month and not get to the bottom of him. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
So, you know me, I'm deathly afraid of horses, but I kind of want one of the saddles. I don't know what I would do with it, but
Make that make sense.
Well, you say that until you hear the stories of the times he's fallen off the horses. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll tell you some of those coming up too. All right, back to you.
thanks,
Thanks,
Cody.
Cody.
Welcome back, Cody's Caravan. We're live in Yuba City, hanging out with Daryl Noble this morning. We're learning about saddling, learning about life, learning about cowboying, the whole bit. Okay, so we started out with the tree. What's the next process?
Okay, then the tree gets covered with leather.
Okay.
So we take the tree off. This is a saddle that I'm currently repairing. So there's different parts here. So if we turn this over, you can see the bare tree
Oh, yeah.
underneath here. So the seat is put on. This is the swell cover. These are all put on. This is the back of the cantle. It's a separate piece. And the seat is typically one piece of leather, as is the swell cover. And then the horns wrapped and stitched. But the foundation, before all this gets put on, are the skirts.
Okay.
And the skirts are right here. Now this saddle, the sheepskin wore out. So I removed the skirts. I had to take the stirrup leathers off and the fenders to get to the skirts as they cross the bars of the saddle. So
Now, when you're working on somebody else's saddle and you're fixing it, you have to literally follow the holes that somebody else did.
correct. So sheepskin typically is glued on the underside, and then it's sewed on around the perimeter of the skirt. So sometimes you'll see where saddlers will not do that. They'll leave the stitching in, and they'll make a new line and go around. I think that doesn't look very good, so I don't do it. I hand remove each thread, or this whole sewing line. I remove that by hand. I have a little pick thing here that I use. I don't see it right now, but
So we're running out of time. We got about
we're
30
running out of
seconds
time.
left. I know, the TV is terrible, but so the entire process from taking it apart, putting it back together, how long does that take?
Oh boy, you know, that varies. It depends on how hard these stitches are to get out. Sometimes it's your luck out and they come right out. Sometimes you can't even do it because, and I tell the client that beforehand, if these edges are too dry, I'm not going to sew new thread in them because it's going to break.
I get it. This has been fascinating. Thank you very much. But I told you guys earlier this morning, this man was an archaeologist. In the 10 o'clock hour, if you will stick around, he is going to tell you one of the best stories I have ever heard in my whole entire life about archaeology. That's coming up.
Okay.
I am not overselling this, John.
Okay.
I am not overselling this story.
I trust
This man should not be standing next to me. We will explain coming up.
It feels very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Thanks, Coach.
Oh, it's something. It's something.
Thanks, Code.
A local shop is setting you up with some cool Western saddles.
So Cody Stark took the Caravan out to Yuba City to take a look at these custom creations.
So we came up to learn about saddling. We learned a little bit about saddling with Daryl this morning, but he's also a former archaeologist. And you had this little piece of memorabilia right here, and this might be one of the greatest tales I've ever heard. Sir, take it away. What is this thing and what happened?
This is the tip of a tank round, a giant tank bullet, if you would. I was working with a group of archaeologists on a military base in the Mojave Desert, and we were digging an archaeological site. And I was in a 1 meter by 2 meter hole that I was digging for artifacts. And right here on that little indentation is where my pick hit this thing in the dirt, which at the time I thought was a rock. So I maneuvered my pick in behind here and kind of got it up where I could see what it was. That was not a rock. In fact, it was a bomb. And I shouldn't probably be messing around in this hole anymore. And I told the supervisor. The supervisor said, we'll call the ordnance disposal folks, which they declined as on a Saturday. So they'd be along Monday. So no more digging in there. Monday morning, they showed up in their Humvee. 2 young boys got out and went over, looked in the hole, and said, please, everybody, vacate the area. So we went around in our trucks behind a hill and waited a few minutes, and by golly, there was a big explosion with debris flying many feet into the sky. They called us on the radio and said, we can come back. So we went back, and I went to my hole and looked in. There was shrapnel all around, and I picked up the nose. And I showed it to the EOD gentleman and pointed out I hit it right here, and why didn't it explode? And he said, well, you're pretty lucky on these types of old munitions. The tip is not the sensitive part, it's the back end. If you'd have hit that, we would have been picking you up.
Yeah, there you go. That's the story of that. I told you it was worth it. I told you it was worth it. Daryl, thank you so much, man. That was a great morning. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Code. Well, Cody wants some more ideas. Where should he go? Good day at kmaxtv.com is where you can email some ideas.